I'm going to introduce this point by talking about my favorite statistic in the world, which is that the average height in North Korea is about 5 inches shorter than in South Korea. Now, the reason this is that North Koreans spend most of their lives starving to death. Now, there is no intrinsic reason why this has to be the case. North Korea is not doomed by its geography or by its culture to be in such a poor and impoverished state. It's a problem of leadership. When the country is being run by a complete maniac who bankrupts the economy to build himself 8 new palaces. I mean, like, a significant chunk of their GDP is building Kim Jong-il's houses. You know, we don't think this is good. We think that he's intentionally starving his people to finance his government and his own pleasure. We think that it is we think you only need to look like 10 miles south of North Korea to see the economic and humanitarian miracles that result after a war or after an invasion, after a change of leadership. South Korea started off in the same point as North Korea, but just because they were under a reasonable government that actually had reasonable policies and wasn't intentionally starving its civilians to keep them from rebelling, they have now grown to one of the richest countries in that part of the world. And North Korea can do the same thing if it were not being run by a genocidal dictator, which of course after we invade will no longer be the case. It will not be run by Kim Jong-il anymore. We think that's tremendously good because it'll stop the mass famines and whatnot. So I'm going to get into refutation now. Ali brought up this point of how North Korea is a posturing state and about how all of the bombings don't actually count because they were just trying to scare us instead of trying to actually kill people. First off, I think Ali doesn't actually know that much about the inner workings of the mind of Kim Jong-il as he pretends. I think it's very difficult to know the mind and note the intentions of someone, no thanks cold, as crazy as Kim Jong-il is. Second off, he said it's not in their interest to engage in a war with the United States, and I would agree it's definitely not in their interest, but again, Kim Jong-il is not a rational actor. The logic of mutually assured destruction and deterrence does not apply to him in the same way it did to the USSR, or in the same way it does to China. We see that you can't predict what he will do, because I don't think he even knows what he's going to do 2 months from now. He then said, the invasion will lead to them using their nuclear weapons. And this was an interesting point. First off, when we invade, we're going to be trying to destroy the nuclear weapons. You know, that's sort of one of the main reasons why we're invading. Ali brought up this point about how we don't know where they are, but what he really meant was that he doesn't know where they are. Because we don't think that if the... No. I don't think that when the United States intelligence services found out where they are, that the first person they told would be Ali Kasimlaka at UCC. We think they're not going to tell us, right? It's called secrecy, you know? Ali.
Caleb, if you're so smart, where are they?
Listen, however smart I may be, I'm not a trusted U.S. government secret agent, all right? They're not going to tell me this secret knowledge they have found out. They're not going to tell Ali. They're not going to tell you. Look, the fact that we don't know just means that they're doing their jobs properly and not broadcasting this knowledge. Okay. He then talked about collateral damage, and yeah, that's an inevitable result of any invasion. People are going to die. You know, it's called a war for a reason. But we think that the result this will have are not actually that important in the long term. See my point about humanitarian benefits? You know, like the effect of a war is probably less than the cumulative effect of all the famines Kim Jong-il has caused. And secondly, we think that it'll be more than made up in the future. See my point about humanitarian reasons. Let's see. The general problem that their side has had so far is that they don't actually have an end game. Their plan right now seems to be mostly wait and then wait some more, and then wait some more. Like, North Korea's nuclear capacity is not stopped now. It is continuing to develop. This is a point my partner brought up. Its capacity to deliver the weapons and build intercontinental ballistic missiles, that's a mouthful, to threaten the United States with. That is still in development. Right now, it can just about reach, like, it can throw its nuclear weapons, but it can't really deliver them because its missiles keep falling into the Yellow Sea. So we see that the nuclear missiles are only going to get stronger if we wait. Whatever happens from invading, even if when we do invade, will get worse. Or if they decide to attack us, it'll be even worse because we will not be prepared. We want to fight a war of choice rather than a war of desperation. Thank you.